Okay, now here we are at this big isolated boulder. It looks just like a rock, but when you look really closely, it's a treasure trove of lichens. Um, I probably saw 7 or 8 species that I can tell you about. There are probably 20 species on this boulder. So let's go take a look. Right along this face, you can see the lemon yellow patches here are a lemon lichen. It is possibly one called the candle flame lichen, but that one is much more common on trees. And so I know it's a lemon lichen, it's the same genus or group as lemon lichens, but I can't tell you exactly what it is. Okay, let's look at these gray, pale gray lichens here are a rosette lichen. One of the rosette lichens. If you look really closely, you might be able to see some small, very tiny round specks that are orange. Those are fire dot lichens, and those are a crust lichen. These other two that I showed you are very small leafy lichens. And if you see any small dots that are pale lemon yellow on the outside, they're a gold speck lichen, but probably not the same one that we saw out there at the beginning that was so bright yellow. And there are a couple of others here. Note how white these are? There are some others here, like this one right here, maybe that one, that are much more gray, brownish gray. Those are shadow lichens. And you'd have to look at them kind of hard to tell which one of them they are. This whitish patch right here, yeah, right there, is what's called a rim lichen. It's a crust lichen, and its characteristics that has a rim, those little circles. Those are the fruit bodies of lichens with the darker centers. And this group is characteristic in that it has the white rims around the dark center. So, and this one is sort of much more thick and clustered. Some of them, all you can see are those little white circles with rims in the center. In this little corner right here, bright white is a 1/4 inch wide thallus or single individual of a rim lichen. This is a lemon lichen. That's actually a tiny leafy lichen. Here's one of the shadow lichens that is sort of so brownish gray it's almost the same color as the rock. And if you look really closely, there's some little orange circles. This group right here, those are fire dot lichens. There are dozens of species of those, and I couldn't tell the difference without putting them under a microscope. Here's another one. It sort of superficially looks like the rim lichens, and it's closely related, but it is a sunken rim lichen. And what you can see is the black dots are kind of sunken into that white surface. It's a different group, a closely related genus to the rim lichens. All right, here's a patch here where you can see lots of little lemon yellow rings, teeny tiny ones. Those are gold speck lichens. Could be a different species, could be the same species as the one we saw at the beginning. And then there's this whole swatch of really dark ones, and if you look at a lot of them, they have an orangey cast to them. That's a different species of fire dot lichen. Now, Don't be fooled by this white speck. This is a bird splotch. You can just keep circling this one, and you can spend as much time as you can stand looking at all the small lichens here. And if you keep track of them, you might find up to 20 that you think might be a little bit different. Or maybe not. Maybe you can recognize that you're seeing the same one. Probably these are patches. The biggest patches on these are maybe an inch wide. Most of them are in the neighborhood of, say, a 1/4 inch to a 1/2 inch wide, and they're spread around, and they're all mixed up together. And maybe one reason is that on regular occasions, people probably sit on this rock and they rub them off, and then they have to colonize again. So none of them get very big and are able to colonize a really big patch of the rock. So they're always jockeying for position.